G'day guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about why I'm dressed like an idiot. So yes, we'll get to why that's mounted to a helmet in a second. Today we're talking about the GTMedia N4, which is a 4x night vision binocular. This bad boy right here. So GTMedia reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to test a pair of night vision binoculars? And I said, you bloody bet I do. So they sent them out to me and I've been using them for a while now. First thing I want to say is they're actually very, very light. I'm going to throw that on a scale right now. So now I'm going to have to run to the kitchen to get the scales, aren't I? So that came in at about 390 grams. So it's actually not too bad, considering most scopes these days you put on your rifle are upwards of half a kilo. That's actually not too bad. And if you've ever worn any sort of night vision on your head, you realise that it's a hell of a lot heavier than 390 grams. How does it work? Just like every other cheapo night vision, it is essentially just an IR camera. So if you ever had a camcorder in the mid to early 2000s and you had night vision mode and everything went green, that's essentially what this is doing. That's what every other night vision scope that I've been sent by Chinese companies has used. Night vision in this digital way is a hell of a lot different from tube night vision, which is what the military uses. So if you get something like this, just be aware you are not getting a military style night vision. It is not as good. It's just a night camera with an IR filter. But for what it is, they do work quite well. You know, functionality of this, I found it to be quite easy. You do have, now on both sides here, and you can access it from the top here, so whether you want to do it like that or with your thumbs underneath, you can change the focus of each eye. So if you have eyes like mine that are a bit shit, and one eye sees a bit better than the other, you can actually dial this in to get proper binocular focus, which is quite good. Your normal binos are going to have that too. One eye would usually be fixed and you would have your center adjustment there, and the other one you would adjust to make it the same across both. It's the same thing, just you've got two adjusters. Now inside here, obviously, there's your eyepieces, and it just shows you two separate screens. But obviously when you focus it all binocular vision, it turns into, say, you're looking at one thing. Now on the front, you'll notice the front lenses are quite different. This one is your day camera. This one is your night camera. So the day camera, it is just a normal camera. And when you put it on night mode, this side is activated, but it feeds the signal into both eyepieces. You'll see the night vision one has the near and far adjuster on there. So you'll see there's a near and far adjuster there, so that's how you adjust the night vision to go in and out of focus. It's stuck on ×4, so that's its minimum setting, and it's digital zoom, so it's blowing up the image. So I've been through this a fair few times when I've talked about cheaper night vision optics. Optical zoom is using a physical piece of glass like what's in your rifle scope. When you turn your adjuster for your zoom, it's actually physically using glass to magnify the image. With digital, all it's doing is blowing up the image. So when you zoom in on something on your phone camera, for instance, let's say you had an older iPhone, everyone should remember this, when you had an older iPhone that didn't have multiple lenses on the back. So like, this is my shitty iPhone and I've got two lenses. So when I zoom in, I can actually use two different lenses and gives me two different amounts of zoom optically before it goes digital. Once it's out of optical ranges, it'll go digital, and you'll see that when you'll zoom in on something on your phone, it goes really pixelated. That's exactly what this is going to do. It only has one optical lens. When you start zooming in, the more you zoom in, the more grainy and pixelated the image will get. So at ×4, which is its normal setting, it was actually very clear. And then when you zoomed all the way into, and I don't know what it actually goes up to because it's kind of not really, these don't explain it very well. So on the back here, it says that it's digital zoom 5x, but going from 4x to 5x would not be that much of a change. This is actually a lot of zoom. So I think it's 5 times the original starting point, which is already 4x. So it is very confusing. I'd rather them just say it goes from 4 to 10 or whatever. It's definitely not ×5, it's definitely further zoomed in than ×5. Anyway, it is what it is. I'll just read off a couple of other specs on the back here. So video, you can have full HD, which is 920 by 1080 at 30 frames per second. You can have HD, which is 1280 by 720 at 30 frames per second. It does have a large aperture, so if you're into cameras and stuff, you know, it has an f1.2, which means it lets a lot of light in, which is good, obviously, for night vision. The inner display screen is 1.5 inches. It says times 5x. Zoom, doesn't really mean anything to me. It takes micro SD cards up to 128 gig, and it does come with an SD card, and you can record, which is how you're watching the footage on the screen as I talk. The viewing distance in complete darkness is about 250 to 300 meters. That's what it says on here. In low light or daytime conditions, 3 meters to infinity. Yada, yada, yada. It charges off USB-C, which is good, and it has a built-in 2000 milliamp hour lithium battery, which is also pretty good. So, yeah, I think this is actually a pretty cool bit of kit. Would be awesome to have in the buggy with you while you're foxing, because you can just, you know, look around in night vision, not have to use your spotlight as much. Having said that though, it is night vision, not thermal, so you do need a light source. So if it is a starless night and or it's quite dark, you will need a light source. But coupled with an IR torch, it probably would be pretty good. We'll talk about what comes in the box. You've got like a shoulder strap, which is pointless. You've got a little bag for it. Hard case, I like that, so you're not gonna wreck it when you go out. It comes with a charging cable. It comes with a USB, and I believe that's a software upgrade, but I haven't done that. I've just used it directly out of the box. I believe that's a software upgrade though. It comes with a SD card, a lens cloth, and it comes with a normal GoPro style head mount, you know, those weird strap ones, which I find to be very uncomfortable, and I kind of look like a bit of a dirter. So I ended up taking a GoPro mount, and I've got it on my helmet, and that's purely for, you know, I did at one point want to film a lot of fox hunting, and for when I'm in the buggy, helmet, GoPro mount on the front. So safety first, let's do a chin strap up. And the way I've done this is this should just click onto there like that. Ta-da! And then I can also fold it up out of the way. So had this has just been normal night vision, not night vision binoculars, so not zoomed in, I would have thought this would have been pretty awesome because, you know, you can just fold it down and use it like normal night vision goggles. However, it is zoomed in, so I don't know why they included the provision to do a head mount, because you can't really walk around at ×4 because it gets a little bit confusing for your brain and your depth perception. I don't know anyone who would ever walk around with normal binoculars strapped to their head, so why would you think it'd be a good idea to put night vision binoculars strapped to your head? I'm not too sure. Perhaps if you are, let's say, sitting in a blind, or, you know, you've driven your buggy up to the top of a hill and you're sitting and quote unquote glassing for a while, perhaps you would want it attached to your head. I do think that it is a bit of a silly idea. Now, this is actually quite comfortable being that it's on a helmet and whatever, but I will warn you, if you put something that's, you know, 400 grams on the front of your head, you will need to put something that's 400 grams on the back of your head. Otherwise, you will end up with a very, very sore neck, lots of headaches, and it's just not a fun time for you, you know. So I should be able to bloody, where's my adjuster? Oh, there we go. So I can still fold that down, and I have tried this quite a bit. A lot of the footage you'll see was filmed like this. I can get to a point where I can actually see through the binoculars perfectly fine. Now you will notice if I look side on, there is actually quite a big gap. It's not touching my eyes, so I can't actually wear my glasses. You know, I can see all through my periphery in this. There's only obviously a small spot in the middle I can't see because this bloody thing's in the way. So yeah, let's try to get this off my head now. Now, that'll do me. Anyway, so that's the night vision binoculars. As I said, I would really love if this company does make a version that is non-magnified, as in just like normal ×1 zoom. Please let me know, because that would actually be really, really awesome for, you know, being on the buggy, being out hunting at night time. That would be fantastic. I would really, really love that. For what these are actually really, really good. I don't know off the top of my head what the retail price is. When these companies send me these things, they don't usually tell me a retail price. And sometimes when you look these products up, you can't really find them. A lot of the time they're on Amazon only. So choose your own adventure with that. Try to find one if you wish. I think originally when I looked this up, it was retailing for around $200. which is not a lot of money to pay for a bit of night vision. I think it's pretty good for what it is. Could it be better? Potentially. I think, you know, if it had optical zoom, it had a bit more zoom in it, it probably could be a bit better. If it was just a night vision goggle as opposed to a binocular, I think it would actually sell a bit better. Because, yeah, if I'm looking at distance, I'm probably going to use my scope anyway. But anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm going to go LARPing and pretend I'm in Black Hawk Down. So I'll see you next video, and hooroo.